Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest Let's Play. I'm Fear the Meerkat. You have to collect these very large rupees here, these silver rupees. I don't know if they give you any actual money or not, because I've already got 99, which is the most I can carry right now. But yeah, just investigate all of the boxes and the behemoths. You have to destroy those to get a couple of these things. Now every time you go near those bombs, even after you've managed to make the staircase come down by setting off all the bombs at once, Navi will go hey, and then she'll try to tell you about exploding all the bombs at once if you let her. So just ignore her. Now if I remember correctly, this business scrub offers you an extra shield, which will prove to be useful later, but I couldn't get the scrub to talk to me, so I haven't included that in the video. But basically for 40 rupees you can buy another shield if it is that scrub, but I'm pretty certain it is. If it isn't, I suppose you'll just have to look at the others. I wish it would give you more of a hint that you're supposed to collect these rupees, because the first time I played it I thought they were just rupees, they don't really do anything. I mean, I know it makes that sound to tell you this means something, but I've never really thought that was enough of a hint. You know, I spent quite a while the first time I played this, and then when I played it again to sort of play ahead and know what I was doing for filming it as well, and it took me ages to work out and remember what it does. Now I've cut out quite a few things from this video. This is going to be a long video anyway, but there's a lot of times when I died and made mistakes. I felt it was pretty pointless to include those, because you'd just be watching me doing the same thing. Now I'm pretty careful with this video, because as I said, I don't like to make myself look like I'm doing better than I am. But I don't want to sort of bore you either, so I've been careful about what I've included and what I haven't, and hopefully I've got the right mix with that. Now these things, if you go too close to the fire, they burn your shield, because your shield's made of wood, and there are also fire keys later on in the level, which are keys that put themselves on fire. One of these exploding caused the other one to explode, which is quite funny. I don't remember what these giant lizards are called. There's a lot of lizards in this dungeon of various kinds. Anyway, yeah, this is the reason why the business scrub offers to sell you another shield. I don't think that happens in any other dungeon, but this is the one dungeon where I think you need to, or might need to, buy another shield. To destroy the lizards you can go up to the top of that structure in the center and then throw a bomb down on them, and the bomb fly keeps on respawning until you've destroyed them all. But I prefer to go down here and destroy them myself. Now, in the last episode I said I'd missed out the compass, and it turns out the compass is in here, and I actually missed out the map. So there you go, the map is actually more helpful, and it is better to get the map sooner rather than later, So that was my mistake. I'd advise you to get the map the first time you come into this room and not later on, as I do. But I'll be showing off how to do that later. Now with this room here, there are 3 torches you need to light at once, so you need to put these blocks in the right place. I hope I'm managing to get the right mix of sort of instructions here and just my own personal thoughts and opinions, because I think I gave too much instruction in my earlier videos. There's so much to think about when you're making one of these videos. In case you're not someone who does it, you need to make sure that you're not rambling, you need to make sure you're not repeating yourself, you need to make sure you're not being too quiet. You need to get the right mix of instructions and personal opinions. If you want to make it funny, then you need to make it funny. Lots of people do. My personal humour with this comes out of just when I feel like being funny and not kind of trying to deliberately be a comedian. Just because I like being myself. I like this kind of persona that I've got going, because it's very similar to who I am when I'm just alone and who I am in real life. Everyone has a persona to a certain extent that isn't the same as when they're on their own, but this is pretty similar to who I really am, and that's who I prefer to be on my videos. Now in a second I've just sort of sped this up a bit, as you'll see soon enough. Yeah, I think we're on to the sped up part now, because I didn't want to just cut this bit out. I wanted to show off my various misadventures with trying to get this bit right. This is a pretty difficult sequence to get right. In my opinion, it's probably the hardest when you're a child. Some of the adult temples, dungeons are harder. But yeah, I've just shown this off as sped up so you can see some of my mistakes and hopefully learn to avoid them. Like there were some things like trying to go up the ladder that get rid of the fire on your Deku stick, so I thought about putting music on this, but I wasn't certain about the copyright for that. I don't like having copyrighted music. I'm not sure if that's considered fair use or not. I suppose since I'm showing the game off here, then an LP is fair use, but still, I wasn't certain about that, and I couldn't really make the music work anyway on the video, and I wasn't really certain what music would be sort of suitable for showing off my various failures here. Maybe I'll put music in at some point if I ever decide to do this again with my videos, but with my current equipment I decided not to do it. So you just have to be content with my talking and whatever sound is naturally here. The sequence is nearly done anyway. As you can see, you need to jump from one block to the other in order to light the road. And there, speeds return to normal. For some reason, when you're gripping it, and you're gripping it just next to the torch, it won't let you climb up. You may have gotten a brief view of a weird sort of menu thing that came up there. That's the menu for the emulator, but I wasn't actually using the menu for anything. I just brought it up with my mouse by accident by clicking on this wrong bit. I haven't used any cheat codes or anything, and if I had, I would have told you. Now you need to be quick in this next bit. You need to light that torch, then before it goes out you need to kill the Skulltula, then you need to light the torch that's just past it, just beyond the bit that has the Skulltula in it. And of course you can't climb up the stairs because that will unlight the torch, so be fast at this bit. And I was slow, and I cut out the time when I was slow and put in the time that's fast, and so that's why you could see something, you could see that bit had been cut. I got really lost actually in a lot of the rooms in this dungeon for this episode. It's quite a confusing dungeon. But my voice is getting tired, so I'm just going to shut up for a moment. I'm sure you're getting tired of listening to me, and I'll just let you watch the video. See, I got lost. In fact, I thought I cut this bit out, but apparently not. I always think that I can't be as smooth at this as other Let's Players are, because I've somehow managed to make this, to spread this dungeon over 3 episodes. I won't be completing this dungeon in this episode. I tried, but it was already nearly half an hour long. And there's a long cutscene at the end of this dungeon as well, so yeah, other people have managed to do it in 2 episodes, so maybe it's just my sense of timing of starting a dungeon part way through an episode. You need to get that thing before it crosses that fire and sets itself on fire and becomes a fire geese. Trust me, it's much easier that way. And it's useful to get the other keys here as well. Actually, targeting is incredibly useful. I like the way that you can do this. Target them and kill them from a distance. One thing I don't understand is why fire only destroys your shield and not your slingshot, which is made of wood. I mean, maybe it's because it's in your pocket, but it seems to me your clothes are probably flammable as well. So why doesn't it destroy those? Why doesn't it burn your entire body? Let's face it, Nintendo just wanted a way to get rid of your shield. It wasn't as out of a sense of logic at all. You can't target these things. Well, you can target them, but it's a bad idea because they jump from platform to platform, and you can't jump between the platforms when you've got Z targeting on. You just kind of fall off them, or automatically grip the edge of them. But sometimes you can fall off, so don't target with these. Actually, they're surprisingly easy. You would have thought something that could jump around and strike you with its sword would be difficult to get, but it's not, apart from the fact that they take a while That's another Fos animal. As I say, Fos must mean something in Hyrulean. I mentioned that in a previous episode, I think. But yeah, they're actually quite easy to defeat and to avoid their swords. So as you can see, there are rocks there blocking our path, so we can't go anywhere except through this door for the moment. Now with this room you need to get 2 switches in order to switch both fires off, and you need to be very quick. So I'm going to tell you now, it's best to get the switch on your right when you're facing straight forwards from the entrance to the room, and then press the switch on your left. That's the way I found is best anyway. And there are also fire keys in here. This is the switch on your left. Okay. But yeah, there are fire keys in here, so defeat the keys as quickly as you can as well. Your shield is quite useful in this dungeon. I don't use a shield a lot because, I don't know, because I'm an idiot. But, don't let the keys hang around for too long or they'll set themselves on fire. In protest! Definitely. They don't like, they don't like this terrible destruction of other people's rocks that's going on in this dungeon. So in protest, they set themselves on fire. Seems quite extreme to me, but there you go. These things happen. So at this point I want to protest a bit. I want to talk about something that's happened 2 or 3 times and has bothered me a little. Try not to fall down in this room, or you'll have to go through all of those rooms you've just been through again. But yeah, 2 or 3 people have self-advertised on my channel, which is fine. I did it a little bit when I started out, only a little bit. I did it twice, and those one people where I've watched a lot of their videos and I've already subscribed several months earlier, before I even knew I was going to do Let's Plays. So it wasn't a calculated move just in case I ever wanted to self-advertise. And this was the videos where I'd already commented on their stuff before, and after a couple of times I decided it was a bad idea because it didn't really feel like the right thing to do. But if you want to self-advertise on my channel, that's cool. Okay? No problem with that whatsoever. My problem here is please leave a thumbs up or constructive criticism or some sort of comment on my videos if you're going to self-advertise, so I at least know that you've actually watched the video rather than just search for all of the Legend of Zelda LPs and then self-advertise on them all. I want to know whether you actually watched the video or not. I want to know what you think about it. It's just common courtesy. That's all I'm asking for. Be polite enough to watch my video, be polite enough if you're going to self-advertise to leave a comment, and be polite enough to give me a thumbs up, even if it's only on one episode. And if you hated the video but wanted to self-advertise anyway, then tell me what it is about it that you don't like, so I at least know how to change it. Now, I'm not making these videos for my own ego, but I would like to point out to everyone who has self-advertised on my channel that I have given you a thumbs up when I went to look at your videos, and I always do, and I have always left constructive criticism, and normally I've got no thank you and no response from my constructive criticism at all. No one who has self-advertised on my channel has said, okay, thank you for coming and checking this out. Thank you for leaving a comment. All I'm asking for here is some basic politeness and courtesy. That's all. Okay, rant over. It's not a great way to get to the bottom of a room by falling down from an upper floor, but I suppose I tried it a couple of times. Not in real life, obviously. There's a fire key. That particular fire keys is very annoying. Get rid of that fire keys as soon as you can. It got rid of my shield a lot of times and I cut that bit out. Because there's no point in you watching my shield being burnt over and over. But yeah, it's annoying. I mean, if there's any particular music you want me to use when I'm doing a speeded up bit in the future, then feel free to let me know. It's about time, I suppose, that I gave you a review of another Legend of Zelda game and told you what I thought about it. I suppose I'm gonna talk about Majora's Mask. I'm doing them out of order because I just have more to say about some than I do about others. So I've always thought that Majora's Mask was very nearly as good as this game. It has a lot of advantages, I think, over this game. I think Skull Kid is a much more interesting bad guy than Ganondorf is, because Skull Kid isn't really evil, maybe a bit sneaky, but it's the mask that's making him evil. He's actually a character who I kind of pity, but who I kind of dislike at the same time. That eye doesn't appear unless you blow up all of these bomb flowers, so I don't know why that spider respawn bit did. So watch out for it respawning. Yes, it does that. But yeah, it's got an interesting bad guy, and I think all of the characters are more interesting than the characters on this game. I'll admit that. And you can't fault it for the atmosphere either. I mean, it's a gloomy atmosphere. Majora's Mask is about death and about bereavement and about people feeling sorry for themselves because they're in an unpleasant situation. And there are so many, there's this great sense of approaching doom from pretty much everything in Majora's Mask, not just the moon constantly hanging over there and the fact that you've got only 3 days to save the planet and you're the last person alive who will watch everything being destroyed, but absolutely everything in the game just gives you this sense of approaching doom, and I'm impressed by that. I have to say, it is scary as well. Something like Link turns into Deku Scrub, for example. I mean, that is really scary. I remember being freaked out by that first time. Or the appearance of the moon, both the outside and the inside. It's strange how the inside of the moon is so tranquil in a way, and yet also really spooky in a way. So yeah, I've got to admire that. There were a few things that I don't think worked. I don't think that the time travel element really worked. I know some people think it worked well, but I don't like that Groundhog Day style thing that it has with its time travel. Now I'm gonna pause in saying that just so I can quickly introduce this bit of the video. What you're gonna see now is a bit where I missed off earlier because it would have involved me going back through half the temple again and redoing a lot of things. But basically, when you get to this room where I told you before to be careful not to fall off, if you go through here, then you'll be able to get another gold sculpture. Now, in my personal opinion, you don't really need it, because after you get to about 50 gold sculptures, you don't really need any more. I'm not even sure if you need them for 100% completion. So I don't normally bother, but I thought I would show it off so you know its location. Unfortunately, it does mean that since you're at the bottom of an area that you spent a long time climbing to the top of, you need to climb up to the top of it again. Now we're getting towards the end of this video. Perhaps if I have anything else to say about Majora's Mask, I should say it in the next episode, because I think now I should say goodbye. And in the next episode I'll be completing this dungeon, and I will just see you then.